Alright guys, it's been forever. So, getting back into the swing of things, all readings will be done tomorrow. Yeah, I am in a bit of a bind. So yeah, it will happen. So, alright, where do we leave off? On my napkin there? Okay, olden times. Alright, so more historical. It just keeps getting better and better. So yeah, this book is amazing. So I do highly recommend it. The Children of Cain. So, in the olden times, it was claimed that witches used these special places and their natural energies for healing. Which is very true, still to this day. So this was done by actually dancing in circles or spirals on the holy ground, or around standing stones and tapping into the energy of the spirit paths or ghost roads, which ley lines is what they basically are. So this gets really interesting. So, that crisscrosses the landscape between ancient and sacred sites. Now that's Little, August of 1998. So the person who first coined the word ley to describe landscape alignments was Alfred Watkins. So in his seminal book, The Old Straight Track, published in 1925, in his travels across the countryside as a representative for Family Brewing Company, Watkins noticed that the ancient sites seem to have been deliberately aligned. So these landscape markers included megalithic circles, standing stones, burial mounds, springs, ancient beacon hills, Iron Age hill forts, groves of trees, hedges, or earthworks, and even medieval churches and castles built on previously ancient sites or settlements, which is pretty interesting that this goes back that far. Water witch, divining, so water witching is what I've heard called. I don't know, my dad uses them too, so anyone who has watched the popular British television series, Time Team, I have not, I want to now, will be aware of the continuity of use of sacred sites and settlements from prehistoric times to the Middle Ages and beyond. So some of the leys also seem to follow the roots of the old green roads or prehistoric tracks that became Roman roads and then pilgrim routes in post-Christian times. Very interesting. I mean, it's very interesting to see the connection between basically every sacred site and religion going on here. So Watkins' idea about ley lines were revived during the counterculture of the 1960s by the hippies, who called them dragon paths and claimed that they were conduits for the so-called earth energy flowing between the sacred sites or power centers. I love that. I mean, it's amazing. I love the 60s. Obviously so. Dowsers also claim to be able to detect these energies using divining rods, and said that the energy patterns fluctuated in accordance with the lunar phases. Never tested that one out, but I have a set, so. Now, scientific research has also revealed increased levels of background radiation at ancient sites, and infrared photography show balls of light, energy, or orbs emanating from standing stones. So some New Age followers believe these orbs are actually manifested spirits, and this modern concept of earth energy is also known in the esoteric circles of the past. So yeah, I don't know about that. Now in Dion Fortune's occult novel, The Goat-Foot God, I want to read that, published in 1936, a character talks about sighting marks on the lines of force between power centers or ancient sacred sites. Now, in the 1990s, Earth Mysteries researchers began to talk in terms of the linear landscape alignments, being spirit paths, corpse ways, fairy tracks, or ghost roads. So, it's pretty interesting. We've all heard about those. Now, this new, old theory saw leys as mythic routes taken by spirits through the enchanted landscape, and it links in with the traditional witches' worldview. It does too. Now, in fact, as the research continued and explained it, took in such subjects as the use of threads and cords in magic, in magical practices: spirit traps, ritual sweeping, sacred kingship, shamanic tradition, initiations, astral travel, journeys to the fairy or other world, the wild hunt, and the popular stories of the witches flying through the air on broomsticks. So yeah, that ties into the flying ointment or lifting ointment. So as a traditional witch has put it, wherever the wanderer places his foot, there the power abides. So the wanderer is both the witch and the walking crooked, is both the witch walking the crooked path across the landscape on an archetypal level. So the exiled first magician Cain, wandering the pathways and byways of the world. So the shrines encountered on the journey where the traditional witch works on Alfred Watkins' lay markers, such as former Celtic, I don't know what I wrote there, ritual grooves, individual old trees, holy wells and sacred springs, ancient hedgerows, standing stones, megalithic circles, old pre-Reformation churches, burial mounds, and graveyards. So these are the eldritch places where the witch communicates with the wights or spirits of the land and the shades of the ancestral dead, so that an exchange of knowledge can be facilitated. So that's pretty interesting as well. Very interesting. Now, Wiccans revere and respect nature, and many claim to be following a terracentric or earth-based nature religion. Now, according to several of the American websites dedicated to traditional witchcraft, the old craft can be defined by its status as a nature religion. Kinda. So none of the traditional practitioners that this writer has encountered over the last 40 years or more defined their belief system in that way or classified themselves as nature worshippers. In fact, some of them were even reluctant to classify what they did and believed in as a religion at all. So it just, yeah, that's pretty interesting. It's pretty different. It gives you a lot of different takes. Just, it's very interesting, I think. So, yeah, they don't even see it as a religion. So I mean, it's just a way of life. All right, now where'd I go? I totally forget where I went. Alright, so, being a worshipper of nature suggests that we humans are separate from it, and in contrast, traditional witches have an animistic view of the natural world. So in practice, this means that he or she has an important and an intimate relationship with nature and the environment and its spirit forces. So we recognize the inherent magical properties and spirit forces in fauna and flora. And work with them. So the study and practical use of herbal and plant lore is also an important part, a very important part of traditional witchcraft. It always has been. Where'd I go? Oh, and this involves a magical and spiritual relationship with plant spirits or allies. Each coven, group, clan, or tradition has its unique totemic beasts that have a symbolic meaning and significance in their ritual and beliefs. So the old-style witch frequently lives either by birth or choice in a rural setting. I love it. So yeah, where'd I go? Where did I go? Why do I always lose my place? Okay, in daily contact with their local environment and its realities. So they recognize that nature is read in tooth and claw and based on the law of the survival of the fittest. So this realization is reflected in the spirits revered in the old craft, so who are twilight gods, often representing the primeval chthonic powers that were suppressed by the Orthodox state religions of pre-Christian times. Pre-Christian. So yeah, we were oppressed before that too, which is insane. It really is insane. So we will go back over more of this. I mean, I just love everything that this guy is doing. Okay, so I don't even think my pen works anymore. Oh yes it does. It's not what I wanted to do. Alright, so as one traditional witch, we will leave off there. So it's really interesting. It is. I mean, just the different viewpoints and the aspects of, you know, where he's coming from, and, you know, he really, I mean, for regional being, you know, traditional witchcraft being regional, that is very, I have to write this down before I forget. So I do not lose my place, so I don't have to screw you guys up and then screw myself up as well while these pens are strange. Find my place again. But yeah, I mean, it's just really, really interesting the way that, you know, this guy is going into this, you know, historical witchcraft, every, you know, taking every aspect, every detail and dissecting it. And that's really what should be done. It's awesome. So, but alright guys, I hope you guys have a great day. I love you all very, very, very much. All my love all the way from Venus, of course, all the way back down. So, yeah, everybody please be safe. All my California friends, I am thinking about you guys. I'm lighting candles. And yeah, I'm doing just the best I can for you guys. And it's really sad to see that. So, I hope you guys are safe. And I love you guys with all of my heart. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. So, everybody please be safe. And I love you.